Hello to my fellow Americans, Canadians, Buffalonians, and Ohioans. This is Professor Bruce, my YouTube channel, Bruce Corner. This is a segment of Bruce on Fire. Here's what I'm fired up about yet again. And I'm hoping this is the last time I talk about it. It probably won't be. But this whole pandemic, we're being very contradictory and very hypocritical as leaders. And our decision making is very inconsistent. And so we have some states making things mandatory and enforcing and some that are not. I just don't get it. Here are some of the things I don't understand. I have a laundry list of reasons why we're very contradictory. And I see it in our state of Ohio. And so first, we have mandatory masks being worn. Interesting, okay? But basketball players can go out and play basketball, sweat on each other, breathe on each other. But yet, we as a public that go watch or the players on a bench have to distance themselves and wear a mask. What sense does that make? That one is very confusing to me. Everybody wears a mask, but when you're on court, you're sweating on each other, you're breathing on each other. Again, should we just make this considered part of the norm, accept this virus, and stop with the masks? A lot of people are saying that they're getting medical excuses and they don't have to wear them. It's to the point where people are making stuff up not to wear these masks. We've got to accept the virus will be among us like the flu. I think that's the conclusion to all this. But again, look at the contradictory leadership we've had. Number two, we had a ton of people. As soon as the protests started, we had a ton of people not social distancing. That wasn't enforced. People not wearing masks. Some were, some were not. But again, we encourage peaceful protests. But when you have that, you're going to get large crowds. Again, what sense does that make? Go to the state of Ohio. We have now a restriction on alcohol sales past 10 p.m. Those who like to drink are now going to fill your restaurants in the afternoon, evening. More people at one time, bigger crowds. What sense does that make? Do you see how contradictory we are with these rules? Major League Baseball. Some are wearing the masks, some are not. Some are within 6 feet. Some are physical distancing, some are not social distancing on the bench or in games. You're seeing basketball players and baseball players high-fiving, and then as soon as they go to their face or they bang into somebody else, let's admit basketball is a contact sport, you're increasing the chance of COVID spread. If we're going to be that much of a panic mode that these leaders, governors, and the media has created, look at this. Look how contradictory we are in sport. Okay, go high-five, don't wear the mask, sweat on each other, breathe on each other, but society, we have to accept the virus and we need to get back to normalcy and stop affecting small businesses, especially taking away alcohol sales, killing businesses. Unfortunate that we're making these poor decisions, really is. And so my laundry list continues. Back to businesses being hurt. If you're gonna ban alcohol sales after 10 o'clock, ban smoking then. I mean, people are going to go outside at these, they're going to smoke. I mean, what sense is that? Okay, number 5, testing people. You test me tomorrow, I'm going to be negative. You test me 3 days from now, I'm going to be negative. I could be positive within a 2 weeks time. How many times are you going to test people? How many tests are you going to take? And these tests are costing money if you have to go back to work or in the schools. Again, we have fallen behind the virus as soon as it started. We didn't do the contact tracing. We didn't do the testing soon enough like these other countries did. Look at how Canada's handled it. Look at how all these other countries have reduced the spread. We were too late in doing that. New York City was the epicenter. They were the model for our country to follow. We did not follow through with enforcing rules and laws and mandating things. So now we're playing catch up and we're encouraging more and more testing. What's that going to do? You can test me tomorrow, you can test me a week from now, I could get COVID in a month. Come on, people. It's like that segment on ESPN. Come on, man. What are we doing here with this pandemic? Back to masks. I mean, anybody can come up with an excuse to not wear a mask now with a health issue, and you can't force them. Hypoxia is real. If you're breathing in high carbon dioxide on a long, lengthy basis, you're going to get lightheaded, you're going to get scratchy throat, you're hurting yourself more than helping yourself wearing the mask. I've been learning about this hypoxia. It's real. So then the asymptomatic people. The asymptomatic people that can spread it, they test positive. Quarantine them for 2 weeks. What are we going to do now? They're asymptomatic. There's a lot of asymptomatic people out there. Again, this testing bit. And then we think that the vaccine, it's going to be a prediction. It's not going to be foolproof 100%. It's a predictive strand. It's new. The vaccine might get you sicker than help you. I go back to, why are we not encouraging physical education and wellness in businesses and schools more often? The cardio aspect of it. Why are we taking the easy way out, relying on a vaccine? Once again, come on, man. Come on, people. Gloves. This is the other thing. Cashiers, waitresses, waiters handle money and menus. Money and menus are the dirtiest, germiest items you can handle. And these places aren't making gloves mandatory. Some are. But then once your gloves touch them and then they touch those items over and over again, you go to your face, you're spreading the virus. Again, we are hypocritical. We're contradictory. If some places are going to be required with gloves, then all places should be required for gloves, especially when handling money and menus. But again, nothing being enforced, nothing being mandated, no strong leadership. Pathetic. If you're going to wear gloves, you got to remove them after you touch items. You can't touch the same items. Look at the items that are being touched by other places when you turn in your phone with Groupon to get a discount. When you are exchanging pens, when you are exchanging items with restaurants or cashier people, you go to your face, boom, you could spread the virus. You can get it. You wear gloves and you do it. Same thing. You got to keep removing the gloves. What sense is this? What are we doing to the people? Let's get back to the norm sooner than later. I was pro-masks. I was, let's enforce and mandate physical distancing, the 6 feet. New York City did it right out of the chute when they were the epicenter. They planned ahead. They were proactive. No other state in America except Vermont, those teams that Andrew Cuomo conglomerated together, they decided, you know what, we're going to team up and battle this and win. They did. Those northern states have beaten the virus. They're not letting other people from the states that aren't enforcing the rules, they're not letting them in their states. They're not letting them come across their borders. Canada has been this way since the epidemic even started, and they don't have the spread like the United States does. Again, why are we not following models that worked? So we're past wearing the masks. We're past social distancing. We are past this because we did not catch up with the virus, because we are not able to catch up with the virus. We have to take our medicine and move forward and get back to normalcy and look at the economy now and helping businesses instead of hindering them. That's the route we got to take. So if it seems like I'm taking a 180 on this topic, I have to, because we were too late in battling this pandemic. Again, you've heard me before. I have said let's follow a model. We haven't done that since we've chosen not to. Let's let people get back to normal. Let's let businesses survive and get through this. So that's my solution to it. Let's admit we have a virus problem. Let's admit it's going to be the flu and live among us. Let's get back to normalcy. Let's combat it the best we can. Doctors, medical, 99% success rate. People are surviving COVID. Let's get back to our regular lives. So that should be a solution. Second part of Brews on Fire, the protesting. God bless retired Marine Colonel Jeffrey A. Powers. He had a great letter. I posted it on my Facebook to the commissioner of the NFL stating it is a slap in the face to us military. It is a punch in the stomach to military families that have lost loved ones. People of 9/11 are getting punched in the stomach watching these millionaire Major League Baseball basketball players kneeling. These spoiled brats are kneeling. Millionaires. Military is very upset. The Colonel, Jeffrey A. Powers, thank you for that letter to the commissioner. Hopefully he listens to you. We need to stop kneeling. We need to stop protesting during the national anthem. It's not the time or place in professional sport to do that. You've heard me talk about this before. So let's please stop. We are all one race. We are all one nationality. If we look at life that way, we are all one people. We will behave better. We will get along better. And we won't have this infighting in our country. Period. The only time we should kneel is when we're in prayer. We're at church in front of the cross. But we stand with hand over heart. It's one of the most traditional, united things we've done during professional sports or when the national anthem is played. So please, if you are on the bandwagon of stand during the national anthem, hand over heart, and do it the right way, thank you. Keep standing. Keep sending your posts to my Facebook. I'm plastering all over Facebook and Instagram that people stand united during the national anthem. Continuing on with my notes here. This whole disband of the police, we saw the failure in Seattle. That didn't work. We turned our back on police. Again, another contradictory thing we do in this country. But yes, who is the first group of people we call when we're desperate or in need? Think about 9/11. We called police first, firemen, EMS, and now we're saying disband them? We're teaching our kids to turn our backs on heroes. Come on, man. I have one more last point on Brews on Fire. Let's say the Olympics was to be played. Let's say that national anthems were to be played during the medal ceremonies. United States of America, are you going to be the only athletes to kneel during your national anthem? And then when other national anthems are played, like China or Canada or any other country, are you going to stand for those flags or are you going to kneel? Think about the Olympics. If the American athletes were to kneel, if our American athletes were to kneel during our national anthem and be the only country to do that, and then rise and stand up for other flags' national anthem, because that is a respect thing. You are supposed to stand for other flags to respect their nationality and their country. Boy, oh boy. Olympics canceled, that might be a good thing for Americans, because then we don't have to watch these spoiled brats kneel. Amateur athletes, I hope if you are an American amateur athlete, I hope you stand proud with hand over heart during the medal ceremonies. During opening ceremonies, during medal ceremonies, closing ceremonies, stand with hand over heart. No kneeling. We ban kneeling from here on out in every major league sport. And please, God, please, no kneeling during the Olympics. Especially Americans, don't do it. Stand for every nationality. We are all one human race when we go to the Olympics. Look at the rings, look at the flag, what that stands for the Olympian flag. United States of America, Americans, when you hear that national anthem, stand. When you hear the Star Spangled Banner, stand. Hand over heart, united with your fellow Americans. When you hear other national anthems, stand and respect. That's what you do. You respect the flag. Respect the American flag. Respect other countries' flags, because they're going to respect us and stand for us. Let's not be the only country kneeling. This has been a segment of Brews Corner, and we call it Brews on Fire, and I'm on fire about those two things. Inconsistencies with the pandemic and this bullshit about kneeling during the national anthem. Cut the shit. This is Professor Brew. This is Brew being on fire. Tout it.